Hello, hello. We are officially live. Alrighty. So, what was I doing last time? Right. So, there's been some updates since last time. I remember I had set up, some very basic controls for the character moving around. There was a little bit of kind of jitteriness with the camera, and if you haven't seen the video, I took some time during this week and fixed that and fixed a little bit more of the controls so it works better on a controller instead of using the keyboard. And as you can see, the jitter, at least most of it, is gone. We now have a character that can move around, can go up on slopes, and falls, does stuff. Uses the physics in game, so we don't have to worry about collisions, at least not right now. We can bump into stuff. And of course, all of these variables have been exposed, so like move speed here. We have joystick control, we have keyboard control. We can toggle between the two different ones. I just now realized that I think this is a new feature. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I think at some points you weren't able to have enumerators over in the inspector, and now we're fine. Okay, well, I'm happy with that. Sure. Cool. So we have our little character. He walks around now, and we're going to move on to something new. So let's pop open Obsidian for the project so far. Yeah. So we're using this for movement right now, and we have two other mechanics that we want to work on. First one is climbing, and the other one is picking stuff up and dropping stuff. And I think we're going to attempt to do climbing tonight, just because I think it'll be interesting to work on more than anything else. So let me just poke a few friends. Here we go. There we go. Right, so the idea with the climbing, I have in here, climbing is loosely inspired by how characters climb in Hogwarts Legacy. Approaching an area that allows for climbing will allow the player to press button to initiate climbing in said location. Only location whose elevation are around the lutin's head will be considered. Anything higher can't be climbed on. Right, so I have the inspiration as being Hogwarts Legacy, and I wanted to find like a GIF of this happening. I couldn't. I couldn't find that. So let me just real quick show what I mean about it being inspired by that. So Hogwarts Legacy climbing. Let's see if we find a video for that. How to climb battlements. Yeah, I guess that'll show off some climbing. I would like to... There we go. Just hide that for a moment. So I'm sure we're going to see some climbing at some point. Here we go. So we got the character. He's using his magic spell right now. Right, that's not what we want to see. We want to see him climb. Here we go. So he comes up to a location where he can climb, he presses a button, and as you can see, you kind of lose control of the character for a few moments. Let's do that again. Not with closed captioning. Here we go. So he loses control of the character while the animation is being played for him climbing. And then he goes up, and I think he's gonna do it again. Yeah, right here, he does it again. And you get control again at the very top. And that's the idea behind it, but I'm going to do it a little bit simpler, I think. All right, let's see how we can set this up. I have a vague idea of how this could be done in our game here. There's two main things that come to mind, right? So let's just spread this. Oh, I'm in play. I hadn't realized I'm in play. Spread this out a little bit to give us some room. And we are going to take a cube. Here we go. And just duplicate that and move it over here real quick to something like this. And we can raise that out of the ground. It already kind of is. All right, let's give ourselves a bigger space. Here we go. Move that over there. And yeah, so click on this real quick. So the idea would be that you could be like, all right, I'm walking along. I found something that piques my interest, and I want to climb on it. So I'd come up here, I'd press one of the buttons, and then my lutin would jump up and grab the ledge and then go up there. There's a lot of animation in that, and I think there's a lot that could be cheated in. However, I think I wrote it down here somewhere. No, maybe I didn't write it here. But I do want there to be like a limit on how high things are, and maybe even have like something to distinguish locations where that can happen. Let's stop hitting everything for a moment. And oh, that didn't work. Control D. Take that out. Move that down to there. I have in the past done something like this with climbing. And I'm considering if I should just go back to that and cannibalize some of the code for it. The issue I had, essentially what I was doing, let's pop up paint. Here we go. So essentially what I was doing back in the day, so we have our floor here. We have our object to climb upon, and we have our character there. So what he would do, let's see, his nose is in that direction here. What they would do is look at a set point in front. So let's say here from the character, and see if at a certain height from that point, I just realized I can hold down shift and make a straight line. Here we go. From that point, it does a raycast, and it sees if there's anything to that qualifies as like a flat surface. So hypothetically, I think this is going to come with all the white as well. It's not the best. Here we go. Perfect. So it would like take a look here, and then it would detect that there is a flat surface up here, and it would then play the animation and like get up, and essentially the animation makes it so it would go here, and then it would teleport to the character here and bring back the animation where it's under its feet. And it worked. It was a bit janky, and the advantage to it at the time is I had it in my head that I wanted my lutin to be able to climb on absolutely any surface that was at that distance, because he could jump around. In our case, I think it's going to be a massive pain in the ass if I just let people do that. So what I'm thinking is, instead of doing that, we're going to have regions on the ground. Let's give it a color. A region on the ground where you can mark where you can climb, and then a corresponding region up here where you can climb to. So if the character happens to be in one of these regions, and then presses the button, it would essentially move them up here. And then in the between time, like in a straight line, and then in the between time, you animate between those two things. I think that's what I'm going to try to do, and let's see if that works, because I'm not even 100% sure there. Let's get rid of the inspiration video. There we go. Here we are. Okay, so for that, I'm going to need a few things. First off, I'm thinking what I'm going to need is some sort of game object just to use as the basis of this. So let's create a new empty and call this climbing location. I'm just going to move my controller over there for a moment. And climbing location right now, let's, you know what, reset that 0. There we go. And climbing location is going to have two trigger areas. Give me a second, let me see. I guess they'd just be empties with components on them. So let's have climb from, and then we'll make a new one right under that. Climb to. Here we go. We're going to go over here and do collider, box collider, sure. Let's just keep it simple for now. We got our box collider on the ground, and we're going to set it to is trigger. And we're going to do the same thing over here, have a little box collider and set it to trigger as well. Unfortunately, we will have two boxes of the same color. We'll have to do something about that, I think. But what we can do with this, just as a base, is we could put it like over here. Just approximately, let's look at it from the top. We could put this like over here, give it a bit of a rotation as such, and then climb from, we can spread out the size and X to something like that. And 4, let's keep 4. And climb to, same thing, we'll bring that up to 4. Here we go. So we have our climb from down here, and climb to, we can move that up here and here. And now if we select it, we have two locations. So one you can climb from and one you get to, essentially. Okay. So we now have a climbing location. And what's potentially nice about this is that we can decide exactly how high it is, so we won't have an exact like block at all the time. Well, let's see what we can do with this, right? So we have this here. We're going to go ahead and create ourselves a little folder. Call it prefabs as such. And in prefabs, we're going to do climbing location, and we'll make proper like files later on for that. That's absolutely fine. Here we go. So we have a climbing location. We're going to create a component for it. So let's do that. Go into scripts. Right now, absolutely everything is just sitting in scripts. We'll fix that later. No need to worry about, folder architecture right now. So let's call this climbing location. Such. Pop into here. This looks cool. Thanks. Thanks, Freddy. Nice to see you joining the stream. I have read your comment and instantly forgot what I was doing here. Right, right. I want my lutin to actually come up here and go up. And we're creating a component for climbing location that'll keep both trigger areas in mind. There we go. Serialized field. And let's have the serialized field be a collider. Box collider. Let's just stick with box collider and let's call it climb from, and then we'll have climb to at the top. So private. Here we go. You can copy this for the climb to. And now as I'm doing this, I'm already getting a bit of an idea here of how I should do this. So no matter where the character's currently looking, ooh, okay, let me just top view here. Nope, non-yellow and black. Here we go. So top view over here, we have our character staring at it. And we're going to stick with the simplest case right now where he's staring forward. And let's put a circle from the climb from, and then a circle for the climb to. Right. So when he arrives in the location for climbing from, he's going to want to climb in a direct line up here. So what I'm thinking is we should have get something that gets the location of where the climbing is going to start from and end at on the top. Okay, so we have these right here. Let's go back over here for a moment. Inspector. Grab our climbing location. Actually go into prefab. I have a bad tendency to forget when I make prefabs. I should actually work in the prefab. There we go. And okay, it's in the game. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna add the climbing location here, and from goes to from, to goes to to. Give it a little save. There we go. And we can top view this. It's not super important right now, but climb from, let's just move this back a little bit. Yeah, something like that. And now we can pop back out. There we go. So it's going to, let's keep it simple for now because I'm going to get lost in complexity. When you're in here, it just automatically moves you here. Let's just start with that. Let's just start with that. I think that will be complex enough in itself. So let's have a new public variable, method rather, and we'll call it find climbing location. Right? There we go. Oh, and of course I forgot to give it a type, so for now we're going to avoid it. There we go. Find climbing location. We don't need an update or a start yet, and if we need one, we'll bring it back after. Go. So, once we're popping to find climbing location, let's call that actually not location, destination. We're just going to have it return a destination. So vector3 find climbing location. This is going to be, let's have a vector3 output. Right, and this will equal, right now we're literally just going to take the center And I already know that's going to cause issues, but we'll fix it as we go. Climb to dot center, I think. Yeah. And return out. Here we go. For now, we're going to stick with that. So what I was saying is this is going to be triggered once you get into here. And you're going to call it rather when we're in here. And it's just going to send you to the center of here. Now the problem right now is that the center of here is floating above ground. It could be below ground. We're going to need to do a check on that and like make a raycast from the top and find out where the actual location to climb to is, but let's not worry about that for now. Let's work on the second part of this, which is to actually detect if a player is in the climb to area. There we go. So let's do that. Public. This will be a bool. I'm probably doing this wrong. So public bool. You know what? I am doing this wrong. Get. Is in climbing spot. There we go. Public bool is in climbing spot. Let's just leave it like this for now. A nice little simple public bool. And we are going to have to check if this is correct. So let me remember. On trigger enter. On trigger enter is called when the collider other enters the trigger, right? Here's the thing though, this takes the trigger that happens to be on the main thing, so we can't have this like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a actually that's a good question. I was going to say an update tick, but maybe it's a fixed update. So unit T, unit T, let me bring over the empty thing here. Unit T, fixed update. The fixed update is mostly used for like physics stuff, and technically this is a physics thing. Frame rate independent monobehavior. Message for physics calculations. This might not quite be what we want in our situation. The number of update calls is compared against them. Okay. Yeah, let's use fixed update. I'm pretty sure it happens before the update. As a frequency of the physics system, it's also called a fixed frame rate frame compute physics, blah blah blah. Right. Fixed update. The fixed update frequency is more or less than update. Okay. Unity, when does fixed update? Let's just stop that and see what happens. I'm sure someone's made like an image somewhere to explain this. Updates, that's not what we want. Oh, someone's made a flowchart. Is fixed time less than time by one physics step? No. Update called. Yes. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna consider this physics. It's fine. Alright, so fixed update. There we go. And we are going to just check. You know what, actually? Is there an equivalent for on trigger enter where you can actually, because it might be better to have it as an event instead of like fixed update running every frame or whatever. On trigger enter Da, 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 da. Yeah, okay. Da, 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 da. To use the following code sample grid, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm sorry. When a game object collides with the game object, Unity calls on trigger enter happens on the fixed update. Oh, well, I'm happy that I decided to go with that. The colliders involved are not always at the point of initial contact. Sure. Okay. So what we're gonna do here, I don't like using fixed update because it's going to, or wait, did it just say that it was using fixed update? It might be. Let me double check this. On trigger enter. Here we go, on trigger enter. Bring this back for a second. On trigger enter happens on the fixed update function when two game objects collide. So it is happening every tick. Okay. In that case, climb from dot get components, get component path, try get components. Let's have physics, right? Ignore collision, check sphere, box cast, capsule cast. Very cool and not what we need. Let's see. Overlap box, I believe, is what we want. Find all colliders touching or inside the given box. And what do we have? We have a center. There's also overloads. Okay, let's see. Let's see what it gives us. Vector 3 center and half extends. Okay. Layer maps, orientation. Okay, so you can't actually use a collider for that. Ignore collision. Get ignore collision. What about collider? Box collider dot. I'm sorry, find objects of type. Returns the first active loaded object of. Okay, that's not what we want. Okay. Physics. Overlap sounds really close to what we want. It can still be used, it's just it's a little weird, I guess, that we can't simply use a collider. Actually, it's returning a collider. Okay, you know what? I've decided to change how we're going to do this. So climb from no longer exists. Let's get rid of it. Let's make it simple. Copy this component, and then we'll get rid of it completely. Oh shit, okay. Go into prefab, then get rid of it completely. Select this, and we're going to add this in here. Paste component as new. Bring this down here if possible. I say if possible. Here we go. This is trigger, and we have essentially the same setup that we had. And now, because we have this at the same place as here, is in climbing spot. Okay, we will be able to detect it. So, collider other. If other dot I think it's tag that we want. Let me just pop out for a second, grab our player. Layer player. I created a layer for players at some point. All right, let's use that. Other dot layer. Can I not do that? Compare tag. Transform dot layer. Set as last sibling local. Okay. Apparently I can't. That is not a thing I can do. So I have to use a tag? Tag. Yeah, compare tag. What is compare tag? Checks the object tag against the defined tag. So compare tag, and then you'd go in here, put a string, and say like player. There we go. And I will be right back. We are back. Here we go. So, on trigger enter, and we're also going to have on trigger, let me see, exit. Let's do on trigger exit as well. We are going to, I was going to say we could just use the boolean, and I think that's what we're going to do. So if that is true, this is going to equal true. And we're also going to, right now we're just having one character, so let's just do this and do false. Here we go. So, is in climbing spot, it's going to be held on the climbing location itself, and it's going to be set to true or false depending on if the player is detected in the trigger that we set directly here. Not the climb 2, but the original one. And of course, we can, if we don't want to move both of them, we have control over the center of the box collider right here. So let's do that. Let's do that. Let's move this not on Y and Z. There we go, like that. Let's give it a test, right? Simple test here. Let's click on play. And now if its currently climbing spot is, as we can see over here, set to false. And if we bring our little character over here, it should it should turn to true, and it's not. Okay. Is that what they were talking about then with the rigid body? Let's give it a quick test. So here to rigid body, don't use gravity. Just leave it as such. Give it a save, come back over here and try it again. And then if that doesn't work, we're gonna figure out why. That's not normal. There we go. Is in climbing spot. Yeah, we can see we are in the spot, right? We are in the spot. And it's not setting is in climbing spot to true. Let's see. Oh, I think I know why. If we click on the player, tag is untagged. There we go. That's the issue. So let's click on that, stick it to player, give it a save. And the layer was just for the raycast, I'm remembering. So if we start it again now, and bring our character over, and we're going to check with and without the rigid body. I think that was the actual issue. Oh, no, it's not. It is not going to true at all. Okay. Let's see. Let's remove this. Oh. Yeah, I see. I'm sorry. Revert. Go into there. Remove that. And can make it bigger. Let's give ourselves a larger area. Just for a test, but I don't think that's the issue either. We may have to look into it a little bit. Let's see. We are now entering the area, and is climbing is in climbing spot is staying false. Okay. Now what did I do? On trigger, right? And this is set to is trigger. This collider is used for triggering events and is ignored by the physics engine. Yeah, it's not colliding with it. Okay, let's give it a try then. Maybe on trigger enter. No, I was gonna say maybe it's because on trigger enter is detecting triggers and not things that are not triggers, but I don't think that's true. To use the following code sample, create a primitive, attach collider and a rigid body component to it. Enable collider is trigger and rigid body is kinematic. This game object will travel forward until it collides with another game object. When a collision occurs, the direction immediately reverses. Huh? That's okay, let's try a few things. Collision enter. On collision enter. Is that not how that's spelled? On collision enter. Yeah. Oh, okay, it's a different thing there. Let's give it a try. Let's just put this here. On trigger enter. And this is collision. Just see if either of them triggers anything. Oh. Okay. Okay. I think I found the actual issue here. Give it a save. Go back over there. Let that load. And untag. Huh. So tag, unlike layer, doesn't actually change everything underneath it. Okay, so we want to tag the capsule collider layer. And let's see, this might be it. That actually makes a little bit of sense, so I have hope. Let's see. Let's have this guy come over towards our box and keep an eye on the boolean, and it does indeed work. That was it. That was our issue. All right. Good to know. Damn. All right. Let's have this back down to 1. Back to 1. Okay. So we now have something that detects when it. Yeah. We have a boolean that returns true if you are in a climbing spot at that current time. However, you can read and write that, and I don't like that. Let me remember how to do this so it's only read only. Public variable unity read only. How to create read only variables. Needs to be a property so it can be read only. Oh, you could put read only on it. Okay. Or you can do this. Okay. Just do this. over here. Return, and then it returns something. Oh, okay. So private bool underscore is in climbing zone, and that is what we're going to be changing. Here we go. And there's another way of writing these though, and I was really fond of them for a while, and I've just not been using Unity much recently, and I've completely forgotten how to do it. But instead of having get, there's like an arrow. Read only attribute. Get. Variables and inspectors. Let me see. I'm sure I can find this somewhere. Let me see. Was it something like this? Underscore is in climbing zone. It was something like that. Properties and inspector. I realize I'm doing this all on the other screen, I'm sorry. Get equals that. Okay, that's what it is. Oh, that's what it is? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. That looks okay. Scrolling. Yeah, there's a few ways of doing this. And I think the way that I just did it is the way I was thinking of. Alright, cool. Cool. So now I have access to this from elsewhere, and we can know if he's in the climbing zone, and then we can call find climbing destination when we're ready to actually find where we want to go. Cool. So let's go back to our player. And let's see, we have player controller here. I would prefer to like separate it in different components. And have like a move component, have a climb component, have a pick up and drop component. Because then I could just like turn one or the others off if I only want one part of the thing. But I'm a little bit I was gonna say I'm a little bit worried about how complicated the player controller is, and I'm not as worried now. Let's have this player movement controller component. And this is only really dealing with movement. So if I save all that, go over here, I'm gonna have to rename player controller to that. And of course, Visual Studio, thank you very much. Go away. Here we go. So we have player movement component, we have the joystick, we have the speed, everything is set up, and we can make a new one. So we could call our new one, player climbing component. Sure. And of course, patented Visual Studio opening without actually opening the new script we just made. Here we go. There we go. Cool. So this is a component just dealing with climbing on the player. And if we turn it off, he won't be able to climb. And if we turn it back on, he will be able to climb. All right, let's do it this way. I think this is fine. Here we go. So, first things first. I was just about to say something, and I think I'm realizing that the check if you're in the location should actually be done here. Player climbing component. The only thing about that. The only thing about that is the player climbing component is going to be on the player, not on the actual colliding thing. Yeah, let's just drop it here for now. So I won't be able to use on trigger enter for this. I'll have to use something else. Okay, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do the thing that I was trying not to do. Let's just do fixed update. And we're going to have a serialized field over here. On here, private collider. I think it's capsule collider that I want. Capsule collider, and this will be the player's player collider. There we go. So, fixed update, we're going to do a little check here. And physics, physical material, no, physics. This, thank you very much. And overlap capsule. And we're gonna go ahead and let's see, we have a point radius. Point radius layer mask. Point radius layer mask and query trigger interaction. I'm not even sure that one does. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with the collider. So underscore player collider dot. How will we get that? The point. Closest point on bounds, no. Point 0, the center of the sphere at the start of the capsule. Ooh, okay. Okay, let me see. Let's find an easier way of doing this because this is a little bit painful. Unity, physics, overlap capsule. Here we go. Let's go look at the API real quick, and we have 0.1 radius layer mask in. Specifies whether this query should hit triggers. Oh. Okay. That's fun. What else do we have access to? Let's go look in physics. and just do overlap. Queries hit triggers, yeah. Checkbox, check capsule, check if any colliders overlap a capsule shade volume in the world space. Okay, okay. What do we have? Start, end. Oh, that kind of does a raycast, but as a capsule. Gotcha. Gotcha, gotcha. Let's see, what else do we have? Colliders and even buffer. That's about it, eh? Okay. Let's see, what else do we have access to then? If we go into Collider, we can have closest point on bounds, raycast, messages. On collision enter. Here's a question. Okay, if we do underscore player collider dot, do we have access to all the on? No, we don't. Okay. On collision enter, on collision exit, on collision stay, on trigger. These are messages. Can we get access to those messages? So on collision enter listen? Let's see, collision listener. Is there a way to make a listener that listens to other objects? Yes, that's essentially what I'm looking for. You can create on specific objects and script, and yes, thank you very much. On process complete. Okay. Well, basic listener looks like that. Okay, we'll just take on basic listener though. That's not quite what I'm looking for. Just like there is a on collision enter main over here, unit also has a on particle collision. Thank you. I also just made a fresh multi-object, multi-collider example. Okay. Is this what we want? I don't think so. Let me see. On collision enter. Okay. Collider my legs, my body. Collider on me. Okay. Collision. Okay. Okay. Okay, I see what he's doing. That's not what we were looking for though. Alrighty. This also isn't quite what we want. Oh, it kind of is though. It's on collision, enter collision, on collision. Collider, my collider, equal collision, get contact, this collider. No, you do whatever you need to do with my collider. Okay. I see. So people are making two separate scripts to be able to do this. Alright, you know what? I've just decided that this is getting too complicated for nothing. Let us just go into player and capsule. Capsule, I think, is actually the mesh. So we're going to grab this. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to remove it. I'm going to go over to player. And we're going to paste this as a new component. Here we go. And now, well, we have it at the wrong place, but we do actually have what we want. So we have a collider. It's on the player. It's going to actually trigger these. So we don't have to try to figure out a way to detect it from outside. We don't have to pass a variable. Let's just do this. On collision enter. There we go. And of course, on trigger exit. Oh, sorry, collision exit. Yeah, I need to start that over. On collision exit. There we go. So we're going to do essentially the same thing, but in reverse here. We're going to have just this private. There we go. We have the private bool is in climbing zone, and we're going to have to check to see if the collision has the thing that we want. There's two different ways we could do this. I'm thinking about it, right? So what we could do is have a tag just for this. That's a climbing zone. And it's probably the smartest way to do it. The other one could be to make a script, or rather check if this script exists on the thing that we're currently going on. And that's definitely a thing that we can do. It's just that, let me double check here. If collision dot let me see, climbing zone, climbing location over here, last climbing location. There we go. So if the collision has the get, okay, collision dot transform dot get components for new climbing location. If that, so if there is one, go in. And what we could also do is just create a new variable right here. Climbing zone location equals all of this. Here we go. Add the C here. And we're going to check if this doesn't equal null. We're going to add in the last climbing location here to climbing location. There we go. And down here, if last climbing location does not equal null, we're going to go ahead and make it null. So last climbing location equals null. There we go. So now we have something that detects the climbing location. The thing is that I'm not sure about is how heavy is get component. So let's take a quick look over here in the scripting API. Returns, okay, grants a reference to component type T on the specific, yes. The typical usage of the message is to call it on a reference to a different game object. Good. For example, you get that on that. However, if you're writing code inside monobehavior class, you want to omit the preceding game object reference. Okay, sure. The result is the same. What I want to know is how heavy is this? To find components attached to game objects, you need a reference to the other game objects. So far, so good. To the component game object, get component families, and following example, blah, blah, blah. It returns the matching type or returns null. It's not null. Yeah, but we could do it in the way that we did it, so that's fine. And the string-based version of this method is to do it that way. You know what? This is fine. I'm saving the web page. It's not what I want to do at all. Here we go. So that works. That works. We don't need to put a special tag on it. We just care if it happens to have this anyway. So it's going to grab it. It's going to check if it has it. If it doesn't, it ignores it. If it does, it makes it like that. And this is essentially now acting like a Boolean because it only has something in there when we're in the location. And when we're out of that location, you know, that's not a thing anymore. So I think we're good. And now let's actually move our little characters. So because we also have a reference to this, we're going to be able to ask it to give us a destination we want. We could also get rid of this, actually. All that. Yeah, we don't need any of that as such. Okay. Cool. So we can ask it to move to that destination. Where is the script for our player? Player moving. I want to click on player. I want to get the movement component. And I want to double check how I did this. Okay. Okay. So I have this set up like that. Okay, we are going to copy a bunch of stuff because I'm feeling lazy. Essentially is the reason. Here we go. Let's go over here. Drag and drop that in there. We don't need any of that. We are going to steal our own update, however. Go back over here, paste that in. And fix everything that I just broke because this is no longer needed. Boop and boop. So we now have the joystick and the keyboard in our climbing component. Now, if the it's getting get axis input.get axis. Okay. In our case, it's going to be like a button press. So input, let's try with the keyboard first. Input dot get key up, I think. And then we're going to do key code dot climb could be, I don't know, space. Perfect. So get key code, get up that. We're also going to put that in here. It's going to be an if statement. So if we just have let go of that, then we're good. As for the joystick, we're going to do something similar. If input dot get axis, is there a smarter way to do get axis for buttons? Get axis buttons. Unity. Yep. So we got vertical, horizontal. Thank you. Vertical, horizontal. Yes, what everybody's using. That makes a certain amount of sense. Type joystick axis. Okay. Get axis is get button down. Someone else is doing exactly the same thing. So let's see. If get axis raw fire does not equal 0, if is axis in use. Okay. So they have a Boolean. That's what I was thinking of doing as well. I just wanted to know if there was a smarter way of doing this, and it doesn't look like it. No, everybody else is, yeah, key down. Okay. Okay. So we're going to do it the way that I had originally thought we were going to do it. Here we go. Private bool access in use. Access in use equals false. Here we go. And if input get access, this will be climb, and access in use, and it's not currently in use, then do things. And all right, raw. Get raw access climb does not equal 0. Get access raw. I did it backwards. So if get access raw for climb does not equal 0, so it is pressed, and the access is not in use currently, we're going to start by making sure that we set it in use. There we go. And then we're going to do a thing. So do the climb. Here we go. And else, well, I guess we don't really need an else. Just do if. If this, oh, please stop. If this does equal 0 and the access is in use, then we're going to turn it off. Also, you know what? Talking about turning things off. Let's turn on the music that was turned off. There we go. And in here we're going to turn it off. So access in use equals false. There we go. So a little bit of finagling to do stuff here, but that is fine. Private vector3 and underscore climb to location. I guess that's a name. Here we go. So do the climb. Yeah, we're going to get the climb location is going to equal the oh, you know what else we're going to do? A check here first. If last climbing location. So if we don't currently have a climbing location, we're not going to even worry about any of that. It's just going to early out. Climbing location equals, and then we're going to do last climbing location. I guess this should be current climbing location when I think about it. Current climbing location. That's not what we want. Last climbing location is going to be changed to current climbing location. Here we go. Change them all. Thank you very much. Equal current climbing location dot. And what did we call it? Find climbing location. There we go. So we get the location to climb to, and then we're going to just move the player for now. And we're going to have a whole bunch of things to fix around it. So climb to location, Climbing destination. That's so much. That's such a better name. Okay, let's grab that. Climbing destination. Let's put that like that. There we go. I prefer that name. There we go. And we're going to just move the character. So for now, transform dot position. Actually, you know what? Yeah, because we don't want to mess around with actually caring about physics. We just want it to move. So position equals destination. Here we go. So for now, it's just going to move it. And we're going to do the same thing over here, but instead of getting the climb, we're going to get the space. So we don't need axes in use for now. So let's just grab this, go over here, give it a little save. Here we go. And let's test it. So let's take a look at the climbing location. Here we go. You can go here, and then hopefully, if I press on save space, I'll move up there. There we go. Let's give it a try. Here we go. I'm moving, I'm moving, I'm moving, I'm moving, and I should be entering it now. And if I press on space, nothing happens. Okay, well, that's it's underwhelming, I'm not gonna lie. Space? No. Joystick? Ah, keyboard. There we go. Space. Space. Space? Space. Okay, well that's certainly not working. And he is, yeah, no, he's in the location there. Okay, so what we're going to do, oh, actually, you know what? We could have tested it directly there. So grab the player and go up here, right click, go into debug so we get some extra information such as current climbing location. Let's just scroll on over and find out why. Yeah, current climbing location is none. Okay, well, at least now we know what's messing up. It's down here. On collision, enter. On collision, enter is called when collider rigid body is touching another rigid body collider. Ah. On trigger, enter. Collision. Yeah, that's not how that's spelled. Wait a minute. On trigger, enter. There we go. Collider, other. Let's just grab that, put this here. Now we can get rid of this guy. What does it say? It's called when the collider enters the trigger. The trigger. Okay. Let's just see if we're catching it first. Here we go. Move on over. And what we want to see change is right here. There we go. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm happy, but why is that working? Oh, it stopped working. What? Okay, well, we have a few things wrong here. we have a few things wrong, but this is working. So that's step number one. On collision exit. Why did it work? That is so bizarre. Okay, on trigger exit. Here we go. This is what we want right here. Right here. Copy this. Paste it here. Oh, I think I know why. Okay, I think I know why it was working and it shouldn't have. Because we're not actually checking to see... I'm not actually checking to see this, right? Climbing location. And current climbing location. So if climbing location and current climbing location, and climbing location equals current climbing location, then null. Although it's a bit weird that it was working at all because it was a trigger. It's fine. Here we go. Let's put this back here, go forward, and this should pop on, and it should pop off, and it should pop on, and it should pop off, and here we go. We have that working, and now if we click on space, it brings us back to the original location way over there, and that, I would expect, is because this climbing destination from this, which can be found here, climb center. What is center? Center of the box measured in the object's local space. I see. Let's just do this for now. That's not what we want as a final thing. Like I was saying, we kind of want it to, like, depending on where the character's looking, that's where it's going to climb to and so on. But for now, let's just see if we can make a move to the right place. So this guy can move over here. And when they come in, here we go. And I click on space. Oops, keyboard, space. We've now moved up here, and the camera did a bit of a weird thing, but it works. It works just fine. We can fall back down. We can do it again, right? Here we go, yeah. Okay. Okay, there we go. Here we go. Perfect. There we go. Okay, so we have the basis of everything working, and of course we can see that this is getting taken off the moment that we move. Axis is in use. We're going to do the same thing with the joystick now because we have set that up. So if I go back down, I come here, I'm in a climbing location. And this is awkward. I don't have the fire, or rather climb set up. Well, let's fix that right now. So, fire 1, we're going to change that to climb joystick button 0. Okay, let's see if that helps. And we'll find out which button joystick button 0 actually is in this context. Here we go. So go. We arrive here and it is the A button. Let's check our thing. A is climb. Perfect. That's exactly what we wanted then. So we have it working very basically in both ways, but as you can see, I can look in the opposite direction, climb backwards. First off, and secondly, it's like instant, and it's always bringing us to the same point. That's not quite what we want. So the next thing I want to do, and I'm looking at the time, it's 8:30. We have time to do a little bit more. Is I want my character to come up to the location, right? I want him to, depending on where he's looking, that be the location it would go to. So in this case, he's looking here, so he would move over here. But if he was looking like they currently do, if he's looking over here, I want him to go up here. Okay. So we are going to take climb 2. We are going to take the position of the player and the direction he's looking in. So maybe like a transform, I'm thinking. Player. Minuscule P. think that's correct. I might be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Here we go. Find destination. We're going to put in here the player climbing component. This will be the transform. Just like that. Just drop the transform in there. And now over in here, we're going to take it and decide where we're actually going. So we're going to take the player's position. And the direction he's looking in, and we're going to cast a recast. This can be put to 0 for now. Vector 3.0. So if the, let's do a raycast. That's a physics thing I want to say. Physics.raycast. Raycast, yeah. Origin, direction, hit info. All right. Can I do a raycast towards a trigger box? Raycast hits trigger if enable. Any raycast that intersects with the collider marked as a trigger will return a hit if disabled. These intersections will not be. Okay. Okay, this is a physics thing. Okay, I see. And I also managed to turn my music off. There we go. So, raycast, open parentheses, we want the origin. The origin is going to be player dot position. Now we want the, is it the destination? Let's just open this back up, shall we? Yeah, it's the direction. It's a vector 3, so this will be player dot rotation Euler angles, and then we want an out hit, so out hit, right? And we're gonna create that here, bar hit. Actually, you know what? Raycast, it doesn't like when you do that. Raycast hit out hit. So we'll take the position. We'll send this out. There's something else that like returns everything, and I think that might be what we want here. So physics dot raycast all. I think that's what we might want. Let's see. So raycast all returns all the hits. All the hits. This is what we want in case there's something in the way. I think I could also put a layer. Array max distance. Raycast is such a jumbled mess. So origin, direction, hit, distance, layer mask. Distance, I don't know. Let's have a distance of 10 maybe. And layer mask is going to be that's not layer mask dot. Is that how we use this? I don't think so. Get mask, name to layer, layer to name. This returns an int. This returns a string. This returns the mask. No, this returns the int. Lay to in, and I think this is what we want. Yeah, this is what we want. So actually, you know what I could do? Oh, mask. Should have learned from last time actually. Get mask, and then just do this, do that, give it a save. Yeah, because we don't actually know which layer's default is. It says it's 0, but I think it lied to us. So we're going to do that this way and just do default. Right. And it outputs. There we go. Raycast all. I just realized we definitely want to make sure that we're grabbing the clipping location. Out hits, can I not do that? Raycast all. Origin direction, max distance. Layer mask. Okay. Can I just see the options I have? Because this is driving me crazy. Here we go. That's an F12 if ever you're looking for it. So max distance, layer mask. I guess it returns this. So I just do like raycast all returns that using the layer mask max distance. Okay. Could just do this. Alright. Alright. Let's see, climbing component, climbing location, here we go. So let's just do this. And I'm going to actually change this position because the position isn't correct. We want it to be at the position of the climb to location. So vector 3, ray position, spelled with a capital R because I don't know, I'm an agent of chaos apparently, equals player dot position, right? And then I'm going to do ray position again dot y, and that is going to equal climb to dot transform dot position dot y. Plus, let's make it even more complicated for nothing. Climb to dot center. Here we go. Vector 3. Oh, right. Dot y. Sorry. So if I move the center, it'll still work. Ray position. See, instead of player position over here, we're going to have ray position. And it goes in the direction that we wanted towards the other thing, and then it should return absolutely everything. So for each this, these are raycast hits. Raycast hit. Raycast hit. Hit in that. What is it giving us? A local parameter hit cannot be called. Yeah, we don't need that. There we go. For every hit in that, we're going to look to see if it's null or not. And this time we don't actually want to. No, we want to check it against. That's right. We want to check the hits against climb 2. See if it's the same box collider. So if hit equals climb 2. There we go. Hit is a raycast hit dot collider. There you go. If the collider, can I not do that? Why not? Property or index cannot be assigned to, it is read only. Oh, because I'm dumb. There we go. Equals equals. So if the collider is that, then we output, we change the output. Here's a question. I'm not actually allowed to do equals null for this, am I? No, I'm not. Do 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 do. Okay. Anyway, this is now going to equal hit dot point. I think that's what I want. The impact point, yes. Perfect. It's point. Perfect. And if it's nothing, it just goes to 0, and we should do something about that. But not right now. Okay, so if it hits something, it's going to return that, and then we're going to move to that location. That is the hope. And I'm looking at the time and I'm realizing this is definitely something I'm going to be working on later this week. Okay, so climb 2. Let's have the size in Y be here. The size over here be like that. Just a simple look thing. And then we can send a target there. And depending on where it hits, it'll do things. That's the hope. Let's just click on play and see what happens. There we go. Move our little lutin over here. And here, sure. And I click on fire. And it didn't hit anything. Okay, okay. There's absolutely no way to check. So what we're gonna do is is there not like a debug? Let's see. Debug dot draw line. Draw ray. Sorry, let's do it that way. Start and direction. That is exactly what we want. So we're going to grab this and add it here. And we're just going to do that real quick. And let's see what it gives us. Because something is certainly wrong. We come up to here. We're in location. I press on the button. Ew! I don't know if you saw that, but it looked like it shot up in the air. Okay, so what else do we have in here? Color. Yeah, we could do that. Color dot red, and duration 5, just so that we have time to see it. And I would like to see what exactly it's doing, because it looks like the direction is very, very off, and I think I know why. Let me see. Yeah, look at that. It's shooting straight up in the air as a direction. That is definitely not what we want. Here we go. Let's go back over here. And over in climbing, instead of doing transform, no, that's good. Instead of doing the Euler, we're going to do run forward to get the forward of it. Let's try that again. Let's do it from way over here. Here. Okay, let's see what happened here. Let's pause it. So, it did shoot something. So what happened? It's in the air. It shot this direction. And let me see. The collider's down here. So it's just shooting in the air there. Huh. Okay. Climbing location. It's not colliding with anything. Okay, let's have it spew out some information for us. In that case, raycast hit in this. We are going to... Maybe this here, this check doesn't work. So let's do debug.log error. And you are going to poop out, I hit this. As such. Let's see what it's actually hitting there. If anything, maybe it isn't hitting anything, and that's the problem. Let's bring this guy over here and just do a little fire. And nothing. Okay, that raycast is not hitting anything. Raycast all, ray position, Euler angles. Well, that's my problem. Yeah, that would be my problem. Okay. And let me guess now it's gonna work. Yeah, let's walk on over here once again. Boop. And there we go. It hit. I hit climb 2. Wonderful. Boop. It did it again. And it's now climbing in the direction I'm looking at it. See? And when it doesn't hit anything, that's a problem. But it's working otherwise. It's doing exactly what we want. We can like look at it over here and climb over there. We can look at it over here, climb over here. We can like stand here and like, can I look over there and climb up there? Perfect. It's gonna be a pain to like animate, but it is working. Wonderful. I hit cube. See, it also hit a cube, but it didn't go into that. So that's perfectly fine. We can hit other things and it doesn't go in. Let's just give it one of these. We no longer need that. And what I'm going to want to do here is fix the fact that sometimes it outputs 0 and just breaks everything. So for each blah 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 blah. What we're going to do is take this and put it here. So raycast hit all hit equals that as such, and this is going to do all hit. It's going to check that. Output equals that, and output is going to equal the current transform location. I think that'll fix my issue there. Dot position. Here we go. Let's give it a quick check. And with this, so if I'm walking along, once this loads, and I'm just in the middle of nowhere, and I try to, oh no, that's right, it won't work unless I'm on the location. So I'm on the location, I'm looking the wrong way, I press, and it doesn't work, see? But if I look at the right way, I go up. Okay. Perfect. I'm just spamming the button right now in the hopes that I can break it. And it looks like it's working exactly as I want it to. Great. So now I have something that allows me to... Why can't I move? Okay. I have something that allows me to climb up on locations, and it's not just a static point. You can do an entire area like this, an entire wall. So down the line, I'll be able to make a crate and make like maybe 4 of these climbing locations around it on a prefab, and you can go up in any direction. I think that's pretty cool. Very, very cool. Okay, so what's left to do now? Hello, Luna. Bye, Luna. What's left to do here now? I think the next thing to do is actually have it not be instant. Like right now, it's just essentially a teleportation. Climbing location, blah, blah, blah. It returns the things we want. And we could do it here as well. Here we go. Yeah, so the next thing we're going to want to do is have it do it over time and stick the character like in a phase where it's like moving, I guess. Climbing. Some sort of state engine of sorts for the character, I guess. Oh no. I just said the word state engine. I'm terrified. Player movement. Let's get out of debug. Here we go, normal. And we have the player movement component, the player climbing component. We are going to need some sort of player state component, so that, you know, the movement component, you can't move when you're climbing and so on and so forth. And we'll be able to refer to it. So let's just create it. I don't think we'll have time to make it tonight, but we can start on it. Player state component. There we go. And we'll go on to the player, which should also be a prefab now that I think of it. But we're just going to ignore that for the time being. Player state component, here we go. And we're going to go up here and do player state. Enum, sorry. Enum player state. This will be public to have access to it outside of the player state component. And our states will be, let's have like moving. Yeah, moving, climbing, let's have like locked. Sure. And then we can remove this for now. have a private variable that's going to be a player state. There we go. And the player state is going to have underscore player state as a name. And it's going to start off as, actually it should be just idle. Let's have an idle. Idle. That'll be idle at the start. There we go. Then we can add states as we need them down the line. Public player state equals that underscore player state. Here we go. Oh, that's a problem. Yeah, that would be okay. Current player state equals that. Otherwise, I break everything. Okay, and now player state component is going to be needed. I'm going to make sure it's required on everything. So require component open close type of open close player state component. Here we go, and I'm going to copy this and also put it on the movement component. Can I have more than one? No. Require component. I'll do the same thing here actually. It's just okay, let me just fix this. Here we go. Require component, require component. Can I not have that twice? Adds require component as dependencies. Yeah. So it needs a rigid body, it needs a player state component. Okay. And then we have a player state component over here. We are going to have a private player state component, and we're going to call it player state. Go. We're going to do the same thing on the other guy, on the climbing component. Let's have it up here, and then we're going to have it on awake added in as the thing awake. Player state equals get component. Oops, what did I tap on there? Oh, okay. Player state component. There we go. And we're going to, I'm sorry. Oops. I put the wrong one in here. There we go. Did I do that twice? Let's take a look. Oh, okay. Let's start by grabbing this, adding this down here. Yeah, I did it twice. Okay, copy, not climbing, player state. Here we go. So we now have access to player state. And I can do things like, you know, in here, which is this movement, yeah. If player state does not equal player state component dot player state dot climbing. Oh, sorry. Player, it's current player state. Yeah, there we go. Here we are. Drop that one on. Drop this one on. Control type. So, player state component, current player state does not equal that. You can do that. So, that, I was going to say we're going to test it. I don't think we can test it. idle. We certainly can't. We certainly can't. For many reasons. For one thing, I'm never actually changing the state right now. Let's just go into climbing. Yeah, okay. There's actually quite a bit more to do if we want to do that. So the climbing currently is instant, so it makes absolutely no sense to like lock it out. So that's a problem number one. Problem number two is yeah, we'd have to set up the movement. So like if the input vertical axis, blah blah blah, input horizontal axis, we'd have to restructure quite a few things to be able to detect if we're currently moving or not currently moving. And it is now 9 o'clock, so we're not doing that tonight. We're gonna leave it here. So for those of you who jumped into stream and wrote some comments, thanks to you for joining. And for those of you that are listening later after the fact, thank you for dropping by. But that's it for me for tonight. Bye!